Pokemon X and Y is only a week, no, not a week, a month away. Can't wait for it. And it was only just last week where we had the Nintendo / Pokemon Direct. And now this week we have some more information on Pokemon through the eyes of a leaked CoroCoro sort of magazine, you know, the Japanese magazine happens there, and we got some really big, huge Pokemon news. So I'm only going to talk about the ones that I feel very important, but if I have any time, if I remember any, I'll quickly spat it out. But without further ado, let's get going. Now let's start off with the Mega Evolutions. Yep. We'll start off with Mewtwo, which has another Mega Evolution. This one's a bit more of a sort of it's more of a fighting kind of like style. So as you see, like, he's just a bit more kind of more bulkier and whatnot. He'll gain the ability Steadfast, which means if he ever flinches, his speed increases. Standard fighting type move ability, even if I had to be honest. And while this is interesting, I still prefer the other one, which to note that this is the X version for Mewtwo, and the other one will be known as the Y version. Now would the Y version get maybe another extra typing because it seems a bit unfair? The Y one seems a bit more superior now. Who knows, we'll find out pretty soon. Then the other one is the Mega Garchomp. I am a bit on the fence with this one. I don't like the fact how Garchomp has a Mega Evolution, considering he is OP as hell, and just giving him this is just giving him more OP. His new form is, I'm not quite sure yet, I'm still deciding on it, but we'll wait and see. The other bit of news I have is the typing. Fairy types have been revealed on what they are: strong, weak, resist, and all that nonsense. So here we go. The fairy types are strong against fighting types, dark types, and of course the dragon types. But they are weak to steel types and poison types. Now this is actually quite sort of a surprise for maybe a lot of you. Not for me in particular on one type. This is quite good. This is kind of like in a competitive market, these two types are hardly seen. So to give them this great advantage now is fantastic. The one type I was not surprised was Poison, because Poison was going to be one of my top choices to be strong against it. The other type I wished that they thought put in there was the normal type, because I think normal types don't have anything strong against, but oh well. But in saying this, however, it's resist to, again, fighting, dark, and bug type. Ooh, that's interesting. But it's completely immune to dragons, which means that the fairy types is a bit OP in my mind, which means could this change the whole competitive side? I think I'm going to have this will be a separate video on what to discuss about, but this being OP, really kind of thing. And also steel types have been hit on a bit. They are no longer resistant to dark and ghost now, which means Gengar is going to be really OP. And now to the last big news that I have, this is the biggest one. This is the new Pokemon sort of thing. Now I am going to say this, I am not going to pronounce any of their names because, for one, they're in Japanese, and two, if you know from this channel, I stink at pronouncing names. So without further ado, I'll just get my little bit of paper in front of me here. See, a little bit of paper, got the new stuff right in there, right? Let's start off with the starters. Their middle forms have been shown. Now, one thing I will say is, I don't like the grass one. I hate the idea of how it just looks completely stupid. It looks like he got like a healing sort of balloon canister and just kind of like decided to suck on it too much, and now just kind of like puffed up. I don't like it, I think it's stupid. Fristlequin's middle form is interesting. The fact that it's standing on its legs now and not standing, it's quite worrying, because we don't want another fighting sort of firefighting type, and don't think it is, because I'll explain that in a minute. And Frogger's Froakies mirror is just like, it's just swag. That's all I've got to say. Like, it's just basic swag. But here's something to note. Now, I don't know whether this is what they'll learn as soon as they evolve into it, but Chesapins will learn Mudshot, which is a ground type move. Now, I was more hoping for maybe a dark type move, but there you go. Vesperkin will learn Psycho Cut, which is a psychic type move, which means could we get a fire psychic type pairing? Who knows? And Froakies effect move will be Bounce, and that's a flying type, so this means we're getting the water flying type. Who knows? This is actually quite interesting. But other than that, we'll see now. The next part are the two fossils. We have this T-Rex one, which will be a rock dragon type. Interesting. And it will have the ability called Hard Jaw, which means any sort of biting moves gets a huge kind of like increase, which means like moves like Bite, Fire Fang, Ice Fang, Thunder Fang, Crunch are going to be really powerful. And then the next one is this Disopolis kind of Pokemon. Will be a rock ice type, and this one has the best ability I think so far in the game. The ability is called Freeze Skin, and what it does, it turns normal type moves into ice type moves and also raises their power. This means a Hyper Beam in the ability of in the hands of this Pokemon will be an ice type. Oh, that is just amazing. The next, so that's like totally amazing. Can't wait for it. I think those two are going to be definite members of my team because they look pretty interesting, look pretty cool. The next one is the White Dog that was secretly shown within Nintendo's Direct, and for those who was lucky enough to kind of like catch the glimmer of it, here's some more info that we have on it now. It is a normal type Pokemon, so there's no difference there. But its ability, Fur Coat, it reduces physical type moves by half. That means like a Giga Impact will only do half the damage. This is, I think, going to be a really big game changer. This only depends though on its stats, however, whether or not if it's going to be really worthwhile. But an interesting thing to note, however, you can customise this Pokemon. They only show this Pokemon, don't know whether it's any other Pokemon, and you can give it different looks and whatnot, like you give it a haircut. That's interesting, but I'm not really too sure about if I would do it. I like the look as it is right now. The next one, and this is kind of the last of the sort of news on the new Pokemon front, is we have these two. We have this Psychic Cats, which are different depending on what's gender. And this is not, now this isn't something new that's happened. Like, if you know Pheasant or something from the 5th gen, like its male form and female form were completely different. But here's the interesting thing though, depending on which gender that Pokemon is, it'll have a completely different moveset as well. For instance, this is what the male one is more of a supporter and the female is more of an attacker. So like the female one will learn like extraordinary or something, that move, and then the other one will learn like Miracle Eye. So this means that these two will probably be a nice good comparing, and maybe they're bringing back sort of double teams, triple teams and whatnot, and try and make them more effective really. This is interesting, pretty cool, and this was really huge news for Pokemon fans alike. Other quick news I'll just say is you will be able to customise your avatar, which is finally a thing we've been really looking for. You'll have this, you go into kind of like a salon, and that you'll be able to customise your avatar, so that's really good news. Team Blaze or Team Flare, I think it is, they have 5 new kind of like scientists, or 5 new kind of other members, which is pretty interesting. They'll probably just be, they'll again be more like the supporter for it, which is interesting. And then the last bit is, I think that's actually it, is it? Yeah, we'll end it right there, but this has actually been really, really, really good news. And hopefully there'll be more news to come, because this was only images that we only got to see. The magazine, I don't think it's out yet, but when that does, I will give you another kind of update. Hopefully it'll be either shorter or maybe longer than this, depending. But other than that, this is big. Pokemon X and Y only comes out in a month's time. Can you wait? Oh, this is going to be a good one, I feel, and possibly maybe a Game of the Year for us, for all those kind of like, you know, for all those, I'm not going to get into more debates about it, but other than that, I'm looking forward to it. Hope you guys are looking forward to it, and I'll see you guys hopefully really soon, or, you know, later for some more Pokemon news.